Hey everybody, good morning. It is Saturday morning. It's the 29th of December and I just left the AT&T store. I'm parking here at Michael's because I want a few more stickers before the planner ends their sale. Before they end their sale on planners. You can tell how excited I am. Okay, so I just left the AT&T store because my poor headset has decided to start going out. So I had one speaker that was fading and the other one worked fine. And this was the headset. This one's a little different. So now they have an adjustable base down here. You can still pull them out and then they go back in. They look a little different on the ends than my last ones. But my husband bought them for me for my birthday in July and they're not cheap. So I wanted to make sure to see if they could fix them rather than try to buy another one or something like that. They're just not, you know, and I'm sure they were under warranty. So they were really good. I thought they were going to tell me to call the manufacturer and request a repair, but they just said, okay, they pulled up my receipt online and they said, okay, let me see if I have it. And they went and got me a new one, a new pair. So I'm just going to sync this and then I'm going to use them. I'm so happy. So, but anyway, I just wanted, oh, and you know what? They were right next to, my shoulder. Dang, I pulled it somehow. They're right next to Pink Box donuts. And I had one of those moments where I know everybody has them. You know what I mean? Where you come out and you're like, it's Saturday morning. I haven't eaten breakfast. I'm totally alone. I'm an adult. I can make my own decisions. No one's going to tell me no. There is a donut store here. I smell donuts. I could have one and no one will ever know, right? Except my body, which will tell everybody loud and clear. So I thought about it for like half of a second. And I'm like, if I could only get in my car and drive away, there's no way I'm going to do that. I'm, really trying to be as honest as possible on my channel and just be upfront and, and honestly, I would have to tell my husband too, because he'd know, if I had a donut, there's no way I would not try to adjust my calories later in the day. And then he'd wonder why I wasn't eating so much, which I've never done that before, but I couldn't hide it. You know what I mean? I wouldn't lie to him. You know what I mean? And I don't want to do that to myself. I don't want to lie to myself. I don't want to lie to my viewers. And I just like, Kat, just get in the car and drive away. I mean, what does the Bible say? Resist the devil and he will flee from you. Like the, not that the devil's a donut, but, but today it is. Anyway, I got in my car and I drove away and you know what? All is good again. No donut smell. No, I mean, there's nothing wrong with having the donut if I'm going to count it, but I didn't plan it. I didn't think about it. And the reason why I was doing it, after it popping in my mind that, I could have this and not track it, just because that thought popped in my mind, that's why I'm not going to do it. Because I don't want to do anything for that reason. You know what I mean? It's like that. Okay, that's just not right. And so for that reason alone, I would say just hightail it. I mean, if that even occurred to me, you know what I mean, then I'm not going to do it. So we ate a lot last night at the buffet and I didn't eat breakfast on purpose, so I'm still not hungry really. It's 11:20. I had a real rough night and I think because I just ate so many things together. And for the last 2 days, I've kept my dairy at a super, super low intake. I think I just had a smattering of fat-free cheese on my pizza day before yesterday, and that was it. And so you're going to notice a little change in my dairy. I'm trying to figure some things out. I like dairy, but I have noticed a little bit when I stay off of it, my allergies are less. But more than that, I really didn't even care about that. But with Isaiah, our 9-year-old, he had to go to the doctor a couple days ago because he's in an asthma flare-up and it's really bad. He's had way too many this year, and so the doctor did a few tests and he said, you know what, you just need to take him off of dairy total and let's see how this goes. And besides that, he wants him to switch from almond milk to another type of milk. So we're doing flax milk and rice milk for him for now. And I'm switching his yogurt, so now he's on coconut yogurt. And then the cheese, he has to switch from cheese. So I'm trying a few different plant-based ones that I've tried in the past. And, you know, the doctor said that, and I know that, you know, it's easier to switch somebody who's allergic in the family when the whole family switches with them. But there's a few things that I know my family won't switch. For one thing, I really don't want to do the chow cheese again, the plant-based cheese. It tastes good, and I've done it in the past, but it's 10 points for one slice. That is way too much for me. I don't want to take too many things in that instead of dairy, it's made with like mostly nuts and oil. Vegetable oil I really try to stay away from with my family. I only stay with coconut oil or olive oil mostly. So that, you know, that's gonna be a thing. I'd rather honestly go with no cheese than have to do 10 points per slice. And then my husband has a hard time with that cheese as well, and I know he's not going to want to trade butter for something that's just an oil-based, you know, plant-based butter. You know what I mean? So far, Isaiah hasn't complained much with it, but what I want to do is take him off of those types of things as well. So I'm trying to transition us. I don't know what that's going to look like. He said that he doesn't, for some reason, he is having a little intolerance to beef as well. So he wants to remove everything that's an intolerance or an allergen from him so that he can have a clear run at, you know what I mean, healing up as much as possible. So we're looking at all of these things. Soy is another no-no for him, and it's a no-no for me. So I don't know what our diet's going to be looking like. You know, we can still do chicken. He does fine with chicken. He does fine with fish. He does fine with eggs. And he does fine with wheat. So, you know, but at the same time, because he has some other disabilities, things that have to do with his brain and the development, gluten-free is really good for him, you know, as far as that goes. So anyway, I will let you know. You're going to be seeing me, you know, just doing a whole lot of whole foods, but I still want our diet to be fun, you know what I mean, and healthy. So I'm not quite sure what that's going to end up looking like, but I just want to let you know what was going on. And then also, after my last video, some people were wondering, maybe because I made a comment about how it's a little hard sometimes to get my husband on board. I mean, my husband really supports me on Weight Watchers or anything that I'm doing, but I think what was really hard for him this last time was I started what was that? Simply Filling, and he said he was on board with that, and it was good because I could give him a sheet of paper that listed all the Simply Filling things that he could have, and that was easy for him. But when I changed from Simply Filling to Freestyle, I said I wanted to try this out, and I love Freestyle. He no longer had a sheet of paper that listed everything. And once it starts getting a little complex and you have to spend a lot of time figuring it out, he won't do it. He's got a lot on his plate, and in the past, this is what happened with summer sizing. Once he had to figure out all the little, you know, places that, you know, you had to, it's food combining, and you had to have this with that, but not with that. He just couldn't do it, and he just said, you know what, honey, I just want to do what I'm going to do. And I think that's where he's at on Freestyle. He just, you know, he kind of feels like he's out there and he really doesn't know how to do it. So I think, you know, maybe we'll sit down and I'll show him, you know, what it is. Maybe I can give him something tangible. And he really doesn't, he won't do the app. He tried to download it, and for some reason, because he has an Android, he can now download it from the Android, but he doesn't want to pay for it. So so maybe if we sat down and talked about it, you know, he might want to do it as well. But it's a real struggle for him because he has such a full plate already, and he's afraid it's going to be so much more of a commitment on top of that to figure out. But I know that he wants to do something, especially after the first start of the year, because he's a little frustrated with, I absolutely think he's perfect, but he feels like he has a few pounds that he really, you know, needs to take off. And I want to help him if that's what he wants. But he needs to, you know, in the past, years ago, he actually showed up as pre-diabetic, and so he's got a real sweet tooth, and so I'm really worried about him going that way again. And I love my husband, and I want him to be at full health, so I want to help him however I can. So anyway, that is the issue, is that I think that freestyle for him seems like, oh, this is another one of Cat's wild rides, you know what I mean, and I just don't know how to figure it out. So anyway, I'm gonna let you go for now. I'm gonna run into Michael's, and I'll see you in a little bit. Do a real quick dollar store haul. I'll just show you what I got. I don't know if it's smart to buy a watermelon in the winter months, but I got this for $1.99, so I thought I would try it. I did get a new calendar for the upcoming year. Wonder Woman, love it. And then I got a bag of onions, a buck, a kabocha squash, a buck. I got 2 strawberries, a buck each. And then I got these big, now these big things were $1.99 for the blackberries, but I love blackberries. 2 for $1 on the bell peppers, the red ones and the green ones. And then I got 2 eggplants here for a buck. Look at these big artichokes. These were $1 each too. Isn't it great? 49 cents a pound on the bananas. Got quite a few of those. Organic spinach. Look at that. Organic baby spinach for a buck for those boxes. So I got those. Oh, and then I got these living butter lettuce, which I love. They're really good with onions, oranges, and avocados in a salad and balsamic vinegar dressing. Really, really good. And that's for a buck. My husband picked up this little salsa here. I found these cute little tumblers. Look at them. They're so sweet. They are plastic, and I got them for like parfait glasses. I really like those. And then my squash, $1 a piece, the green and the yellow. And if you like this kind of coffee, my husband loves this kind of coffee, and this was $4 there. Now, what's funny is that we usually get this jar, and this one is $8, but it's really not that much bigger. So it's a good buy if you haven't tried these. This is an instant coffee, and he really likes it. My parents got him hooked on that. So anyway, spent just over $30 on all of this stuff, and that was our haul at the dollar store. All right, going outside to do my run, and when I come in, I'm having some of this. All right, I'm all ready to do my run. I was actually, and I'm not in my pajamas yet. I was just about to be in my pajamas. I was making some of that tea for myself, and my husband said, "Don't you have a run to do outside?" And I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about my run. All right, so I went and grabbed my jacket, and I said, I'll be right back, and I'll have my tea in a minute. All right, everybody, I'm going to say goodnight for tonight. Did my run, made it through another day. And you know, one thing that I had forgotten that I used to do in the past that I'm going to do from now on is I used to end the day with a cup of herbal tea about an hour before bed. I used to do that every night, and that would help me wind down a bit. But it also took the place of wanting something sweet at night, to just have that tea. And if I wanted something extra, I would have tea and fruit. And I think I'm going to go back to that in the coming year. I'm really glad that I actually didn't, there's a time for donuts, but I'm glad I made it through without doing that today. There was another temptation, because as we came home, we went right by Krispy Kreme, and I still had donut on the brain. But we just kept right on going. As long as we're out of the vicinity, everything's going to be okay. So anyway, made it through another day, and guess what? I got a blue dot. So that's awesome. All right, I'm going to let you go for tonight. I love you, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.